Because I'm a genius and I want to manage multiple YouTube series at the same time while only producing very few videos, we're back on Topia, guys. What's up? This is a bit of a unique season of Topia. As you can see, there's an entire city in existence already, and why is that? Well, I built really fast and I'm awesome. No, actually, we decided to generate an abandoned city here. And then we get to claim various blocks of the city and rebuild and redesign. As you can see, somebody's been working with some cherry blossoms. That building on the corner's seen some work, since most of them look sort of like this, just straight blocks already. And this is my home and my little garden so far. Super epic. I want to tell you guys a little bit about my plans for this season. They are kind of silly. There are other people in this world, which means in theory, I can make them all do my bidding. So what we're gonna do, first thing first, I want to minimize the amount of time this season that I have to spend digging and mining and collecting all of my resources, so I'm going to send up a GoFundMe because I like nothing more than to have all of my blocks readily available so that I can just build. So somewhere in this city, maybe near the portal where everybody's going to be all the time, I'm going to set up a GoFundMe where I put like material lists and whatnot for all of my builds, and everybody else can give me all the blocks that I need. Second thing, I freaking hate vines. Vines are basically like TNT griefing, but instead of tearing down your build, they just ruin your build. They drive me frickin' nuts. I cannot begin to describe how much I hate this. I spent hours already, hours and hours and hours, removing all of the vines from this clump of buildings. Let's head into free cam here and give you an idea. There are many buildings connected together in this clump. It took a long time. Oh, and I didn't get rid of them all. Ah, man. Okay, we're gonna get rid of those vines and try and make sure they don't grow back. So what does that actually mean? Well, so I don't want to collect blocks. I don't want to go to the effort of mining. I don't even want to build farms. So I think what I'm gonna do to be able to take part in the economy in some way, shape, or form is I'm gonna make a de-vining business. But first things first, we need to make something awesome because this city's looking a little bit plain. So let's build something ridiculous. Because I'm Rohan and I build things, and let's go nuts. So what do you guys think? It's not perfect. Okay, it's pretty damn close, but it's not quite perfect. And why I say it's not perfect is I've looked at this thing from a lot of different angles, and certain things look kind of slightly off from some angles. But hey, it's the first time I ever built a dragon. I think it looks pretty darn good. And I'm gonna make more dragons, but this is the first one, so let's be happy with it. I love the way the fireball, oh, you should see this thing at night. This fireball at night, the way it glows and all the colored glass together is awesome. And my favorite view is from on top of, what tower is it? That tower? That tower. Let's go look. No, this one isn't my favorite view, but I do really enjoy the way his head and his nose and his chin and the fireball shooting out. Look, let's find another building. We are now way off the ground. Okay, it looks pretty sweet. I'm really proud of this, guys. This was tough. It was a real struggle to design a dragon that looked good, and I've been messing around. Even after I finished designing it and I built it here in survival, I've still been like making little adjustments to the jawline and changing up a block or two on its legs so it looks just right. And I'm very proud of the progress I've made. I cannot begin to tell you guys how much it scared me. That might sound weird, but it legitimately scared me to build a dragon because I was scared to build it and it looked stupid. And admittedly, this is why I called this my first dragon. It's the first dragon I built in survival. Let me show you the first dragon I ever attempted to build. Yeah, it looks like a freaking demon. It's terrifying. It looks awful. It legitimately looks like it belongs in the nether to protect some, I don't know. It's the spawn of terrifying, the stuff that nightmares are made out of. And I figured out why. There were issues with like the jawline shape and the top of its head, and it needed to look more like a dinosaur and less like a creepy, weird looking lizard that had strangely long arms. Anyway, let's stop looking at this thing and let's go back to the regular world. This thing turned out really good. For our first time building a dragon, I think it turned out freaking awesome. There are other places in the city with like damaged buildings like this that I'd like to build more dragons for. Like, just the dragons are tearing down the city. It'd be really cool. But anyway, for those of you who are not super familiar with what's going on here, this is Topia. What is Topia? Topia is a server of a bunch of small, awesome, really fun YouTube content creators along with some of our friends, and we hang out together. This season, we generated this city, so we didn't build all of this. This was naturally generated. Well, naturally. I use that word a little liberally. This city was generated by a mod that we used. Now, it is actually vanilla Minecraft after the city was generated, so, like, there's no other significant mods. But we thought it would be fun, because a lot of the people on this server aren't big into building, but we also thought it would be really fun to just start in something a little bit unique, like a pre-generated city. A lot of the buildings are very boxy, but they're built just unique enough so that when you run shaders, all of the shadows and whatnot, they look real cool. But when you turn shaders off, it's a little bit plain. A lot of repeated colors and a lot of really, really square, lack of depth buildings. Some are better than others. Like this one right here. That ain't too shabby. This building right here, really freaking plain. So, we're going to spend some time sprucing up some of the buildings at some point. But this was a bit of an exhaustive effort. I tried to use relatively inexpensive materials for this. And deep slate, black stone, wood, and sandstone. Not bad. I mean, the quartz in the belly, a little bit more expensive. But we are going to be attempting to spruce up the city, and I think one of the first things I want to do, because I'm going to be a mooch, I'm going to set up a little, like, GoFundMe shop, and this building right here is going to be our headquarters. So let's make something so that everybody knows exactly what they're doing, and let's get people donating blocks to me so we can build. So much for keeping that building and making it my headquarters. I ended up just tearing it down and building something way better. And I hope you guys agree. I think it looks way better. Don't mind that little area. We've still got lots and lots of plans for how we're going to complete this whole city block. Why is it ever taking a long time for that to oxidize? These little corners already finished, and I think this thing looks way better when it finally gets the oxidized roof, but I guess we'll have to wait. Why GoFund thee and not GoFund me? Well, as everybody's aware from last season, I am the king of the server. Therefore, I don't know, it's a really bad pun. A really bad attempt at a pun. So here it is. Oh, that's at the very back. Welcome to GoFund thee, your one-stop shop for giving away your stuff. So, it looks like we actually have some donations already for one of the projects I have planned. Not quite all of the resources I need, but the premise here is hopefully I build well enough that other people want to see me build more badly than they want to build with the blocks they collect themselves. So, it's working a little bit. The first project here, I'm planning on, well, let me back up here. You may notice it says, "Oh, to relax in the sand." I'm using semi-cryptic messages for what my projects are rather than just being outright clear because, I don't know. This one, basically, the plan is to convert that whole area over there into a nice, like, beach area, and we're going to call it Dragon Beach because there's a dragon over top of it. And then this one is because I want to transform all of the road areas to something that looks similar to this. And then on some of the bigger roads, we're going to do like a dashed line in the middle. And then the last one here, it says this city block could use work. And that's my material list to finish out this city block. I am sure I will definitely have to collect some of my own supplies because I don't think somebody's going to donate 8 blocks worth of red nether brick to me. So I guess I'm going to have to go manually collect some of that myself. Hopefully I get the majority of my resources this way though. I'd really love to not have to collect blocks and just be able to build like crazy. We'll see if everybody else buys into this. But also, let's get some eyes on this with shaders and let's talk about the build details. Oh yes, it looks good! My favorite detail is the emergency escape staircase here. I copied this design from something I saw in Hermitcraft Aquatown. Aqua? Anyway, I copied the design, but it's still my favorite, and then we did this little, like, garden area on top of the roof here. One day when there's an interior, or the semblance of one, there will be a reason for this to be here, but we did, like, a tar roof style up top here, and then inside this building, I gotta show you guys this. I thought this was really clever. You guys notice anything funky about this water elevator here? No, like maybe there's no blocks beside it? You can do this really cool thing with slime and update suppress the water, and it allows you to have floating or partially floating source blocks of water that don't spread. Now let me show you how we do this. So here's our beautiful source block of water, and we want it not be flowing anywhere. So the first thing we're gonna do, set up some pistons, like so. And now the water is entirely contained by piston arms sticking out. And what we're going to do to update suppress the water is we're going to basically make it so that the water thinks that a piston's retracted and pulled a block in front of it, but the block wasn't able to move. So it's actually just as simple as a couple pieces of slime and a furnace like this. And we can see I take this redstone out. Now I can get rid of that piston and these slime pieces. And ta-da! Floating water. Genius, right? And then repeat the whole process. Take a quick nap, and ta-da, you have it, a floating piece of water. Now the important thing here though is that you never place any block or block that would cause an update here. So technically like redstone comparators and other redstone contraptions update block. Maybe I'm crazy. Point is, we can't update this block at all. So as soon as we get any block anywhere near it, this beautiful floating water will turn back into regular water. And that's a bummer. I have not mastered a good way to make like a column of water like this get totally update suppressed. I can do it with a single piece of water, and I can do it on 3 sides of the water column, but I haven't figured out how to do it on all 4 sides, so I've never made like a totally floating piece of water. That is why this one has the row of blocks behind it. That way I only had to update suppress the 3 sides, and we have this beautiful floating column. If any of you guys come up with a way that we can do this on an entire water elevator column, please let me know, because I would love to have it totally floating and totally isolated from any blocks, but I haven't figured out how to do it myself. Now the overall style I was going for when I built all of this was sort of an old-timey New York, but still exists in modern cities. So like, this building is still there, and there's still offices, and all of these buildings still exist. That way we can have like a blend of early 1900s or mid 1900s architecture style along with some modern buildings together. This is not a good example. We will fix this, I promise. But that way we can blend a couple different building styles and not focus just super heavily on only, you know, this old school 1950s, 1940s architecture or only super hyper modern builds. We can kind of blend both of them and we can create this city that looks like it was built over decades and has this really cool feel to it. But guys, I have spent so much time building already this episode. This was a lot to do. Build a dragon, build this entire tower, half the city block, even if it is just a facade. That's a lot to do in the very first episode of a season where my tools and infrastructure are a little bit limited. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.